Hello, and welcome to Rolls Untold. I am your Game Master, Tanner Neath, and today marks the beginning of our adventure. In this prologue series, we'll be introducing the protagonists of our campaign, the Fate of Galvera. Our first character is Omaru Velzaren, played by the incredible Dane Giuffre. So, Dane, are you ready to roll?
I am.
Fantastic. You arrive at the docks of Port Vardenfirith with your mentor Adamar Vordescant. You've been here a few times, picking up parcels and things to complete inventory, doing your map making and all. But today, you have an alternative motive. But first, Omaru, who are you?
Oh, me? I'm Omaru, of course. I'm an Asmar. Shock of red hair with a white streak that goes across it all. Wearing a simple blue tunic with leather wraps. Just trying to make sure I can do my best with Adamar. He's been giving me everything I could ever possibly want.
Of course. And your goal today is to figure out a plot, a plan. You've been hearing whispers of illegal trafficking of mythical creatures. Along these different ports of Ardenzeral, what has really interested you is, among these creatures, is said to be dragons. They've always been fantastical, and you've always been intrigued by them. How could you not be? One such rumor has conveniently led you here to Port Vardenfirith. The whispers say that there's a shipment of these creatures at the far end of the port, near the stockyard. Knowing this, your moral compass and curiosity couldn't turn you away. As you walk through the vaguely familiar gates of the port town, you can see the busy men and women doing their trade. You see the blacksmiths, you see the merchants enveloping the streets. You start to hear the sounds of the port. Now, the reason you and Adamar are here is to pick up a few parcels, some restocking as well. But you don't have much time on your hands, Omaru. It's just a quick pickup and then go. What would you like to do?
Adamar is with me?
Adamar is with you. You guys just walked through the gates.
I think as we are making our way through all of these crowds and crowds of people, going, Adamar, is it always this busy?
Well, it's pretty busy today. We'll be fine. We're going in and right back out.
Okay, great. Where exactly are we going again?
Oh, well, we have to go up to Schmeeg's. He's got the best charcoal.
That's right, I forgot.
You've been there.
Yeah, no, I remember. Thank you. It's just been so long since I've been back at this port. I forget how busy it is.
Yes, of course. Well, are you feeling all right? You seem a little off today. You didn't speak much on the way here. I know it was a long journey, but...
I know. Thank you for asking, Adamar. I'm okay. I'm all right. Just a little tired is all.
All right, well, keep your head in the game. Remember, there's a lot of work to be done, and I need you, boy.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm going to get us a bite to eat. It's been a long journey. Is that okay if I meet up with you back at Schmeeg's?
Sure. Actually, if you'd want to pick me up one of the crab sticks.
Crab sticks, got it.
Fantastic. I'll see you at Schmeeg's.
Okay.
You see Adamar as he kind of scurries his way, head down as he always does, just trying to make his way through the crowd.
I watch him leave, thinking about everything that man has given me, and it pains me that I'm not able to bring him into this because I know it could be dangerous, at least if the rumors are true. So I'd like to venture towards the port to scope it out, to see if the rumors, some of the things I've picked up in the information are salient, and if they are repeatable, then I know for sure there's a pattern and I can try to get in the way of it.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you trying to pick up?
I'm trying to pick up if there are any seedy characters that either have been described to me in the past, or if that area is exactly as they say. If there was a shipment or a ship that I knew was going to be coming in, I want to look for that as well.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me perception.
Sure. Natural 20.
Okay, first roll of the game. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What does that come out to?
Oh, I'll tell you. It's a 27.
Boy, do you hear everything. So I'll say you probably go over and you're keeping your ears keen.
Mm-hmm.
And just as you kind of round one of these smaller shacks that is kind of overlooking where the actual docks are,
mm-hmm.
you hear this voice, and it's faint, but you can clearly make out them speaking about how security is on high.
Okay.
That there's more guards patrolling around the stockyard as of lately. You don't know why. Must be something important there.
Patrols around where? Sorry?
The stockyard.
The stockyard. Got
Yes.
it. Heard. Okay.
Which is exactly what your information was when you heard back in Donic.
Got it. Corroborates. Things are starting to add up. Okay.
Yes.
After hearing this, I'm going to first go get some crab sticks.
Of course.
And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to, I want to try and scope out this stockyard.
Yeah.
If I could try to get to a high vantage point, I will try for it just to get a lay of the land. If not, I'll try to just weave my way through the stockyard to see if there is where the patrolling has started to coalesce.
Sure. Yeah, so you make your way and you go, there's a little stand.
Mm-hmm.
It's the stand that you guys always go towards when you go to Port Virthfarda. And you see the typical old man, blind in his left eye. He's got the long, scraggly locks of gray hair. And Omaru!
Hey!
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
The usual?
Yes, please. 3 crab sticks.
He starts digging around in this little crate and he pulls out 4 crab sticks. He goes, you know I always treat you right. Wait. He digs around a little bit more and he pulls out this little jar and he goes, that's especially for Adamar. You tell him that he's my best customer.
Okay, great. How much do I owe you?
Oh, let's see, for 3? 4th one's on the house, of course. I would say 3 silver.
Great. And I hand him 3 silver.
You know, you're a great young lad. It's always good to see you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Crab sticks! Crab sticks! Get your spicy mayo! As you start to kind of walk away.
Delicious.
Fantastic.
And I'll pocket them because I know for sure that I'm just going to be heading right back to Adamar after doing a lot of this. So I'm going to put the crab sticks in my pack and then head towards Stockyard.
Yeah, absolutely. The Stockyard is plainly visible. You walk for maybe about 10 minutes and it's this giant metal fence that surrounds the entirety of the area.
Okay.
It's definitely well guarded. There's 3 guardsmen in front of the actual entrance, one on each side of the doors and one in the center. And you see there are 2 guardsmen on each side, either side of the door, that are patrolling around the entirety of the actual fence.
Got it.
It is heavily guarded.
3 guards at the gate, 2 that are walking around.
Yes.
Okay. Looking at them because a dear friend of mine is someone who was also part of City Guard and a part of the armies at Donic. Do I get a sense of their station and what any particulars about their garb that would give away their station?
You see the 3 that are at the front, at the gate. They are wearing just normal Port Virthfarda like militiamen wear.
Okay.
So they have the insignia of Port Firthvarda.
Yeah.
And the two who are walking around the outskirts, they seem to be more of like actual soldiers, not just militiamen. Possibly, you know what, go ahead and give me a perception as well.
Okay. I'll roll the same one I got a nat 20 on. Let's see. Nat 1.
Nice.
We work on...
It all balances out.
It all balances out. Yikes. I nat 1.
You can't really see any symbols or insignias that really give off an idea of what these soldiers are.
Okay.
But I will say you can tell they are not the same. They are more adorned in heavier armor. These two have heavy crossbows that seem to be loaded with some sort of contraption around them. They are a little more armed than your typical militiamen at the port would be.
Got it. I think what I have to do to get more information, because I can't talk to them, is I want to try and look for a place to climb up.
Okay.
And I want to try to see if there is not like a hole in the fence, but more like an area, if I can survey their patrolling and get a sense of when the gaps are to climb the fence, that'd be great.
Yeah. I will just bunch all of that in with an investigation roll.
Sure, thank you. Well, it's not going to be great.
Okay.
2 on the die, and investigation will be 4.
Okay. It seems that as you kind of watch the patrol, you do notice that there are 2 more guards on the other side of the fence. But it seems their actual patrolling patterns are more sporadic than anything. You can't really find a certain pattern, making it pretty hard to gauge when you should make your move.
Okay.
You do see that there is a broken piece of the fence, and there's scaffolding in terms of them trying to fix this piece of the metal fence.
Okay. Got it. That's my entrance. My entrance is through the gate, through the fence with a hole in it. The patrolling is there. Okay. Here's what I would like to attempt to do. Because I need to get in there. I need to know if the rumors are true. If there's a dragon in there, I have to find it. And if it's being held captive, I have to let it go. It doesn't deserve that life. It deserves to be free. So I'm going to go back to the market. How far away is the market from Stockyard? Is it like a long trek? Is it?
It's about 10 minutes.
Okay, great. I'm going to cut the distance in half a little bit.
Okay.
And if there are still marketplaces around, I would like to try and cause a distraction, to try and lure the guards away from that side of the fence,
Okay.
and then sneak my way in if I can. And the way I'd like to do that is to take this jar that I was given.
Got it.
I crank it open. What's in it?
So this is the typical spicy mayonnaise that Adamar absolutely adores.
Incredible.
It is his absolute favorite when it comes to the famous crab sticks of the port.
Great. I give it a good whiff. It's a good batch today too. What a shame. And I would like to take one of the crab sticks, dip it in this spicy mayo, and look for the seagulls that I'm sure would be around a port like this.
Yeah. Oh, they are absolutely everywhere.
Here's what I would like to do. I'd like to attempt to get one's attention, wave the crab stick, and then throw it into like a heavily populated area to see if I can get a bunch of them to flock in.
Okay. You definitely know that these seagulls are... The gulls are not very afraid.
Sure,
They
yeah,
are
absolutely.
used to mortal interaction.
Yeah.
So you definitely... I would say you chuck it Let's just see how far you chuck it.
Sure.
Yeah, just give me athletics. Why not?
Athletics? Yikes, it's definitely going to be a -1.
You love athletics.
I know. 17.
Okay.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
Love athletics.
Yeah.
So you take this crab stick smothered in this spicy mayo and you throw it. It sticks to the side of one of these shacks and smears down. And you see this entire flock of seagulls just starts to swarm and go for this crab stick that is shattered into pieces, one little bit for each seagull. But right in the middle there are people kind of next to the port, or next to the docks, next to this building that you just threw it at. And it's causing a little bit of a commotion, but nothing that is really drawing the attention of the guards.
Then what I want to add, if there is a flock of seagulls, I'm going to take the rest of the mayonnaise. And if there are carts coming by, I'm just going to, like an oil slick with mayonnaise onto the floor.
Okay.
I want to cause as much of a ruckus as I can with what I have at my disposal, which right now is crab sticks and mayonnaise.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so you're trying to, like, smother the mayonnaise so that...
I'm going to smother the mayonnaise on the floor while people are distracted with the gulls. I want a cart to fall over if it can, or just spook a horse if I have to, with the mayonnaise. I don't know exactly how.
Okay. Let's see if luck is on your side.
Okay.
So, as you kind of try to smother this mayonnaise and you... how are you doing this? Are you...
I'm not on my hands and knees. I think what I'm doing is just like scooping it out and throwing it onto the floor every now and then.
Okay.
Around the gulls, acting like I'm feeding them more.
Okay, got it.
So I don't have to draw too much ire from people around me.
Okay. It's definitely attracting the attention of more of the gulls.
Great.
You see, the horses are getting a little agitated, but besides that, again, not really doing too much. The mayonnaise isn't as slick as you would hope that it would be to do any damage to, like, a cart. And it's not really drawing the attention of the horses. They're more just annoyed at the increased amount of birds that are coming and squawking and causing a ruckus.
What's the lay of the land in terms of the people right now around the area? Is it like... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. The people are just kind of rushing, going about their business. They're trying to kind of avoid the area that is being swarmed by these gulls, and they're not really paying too much mind to you.
Great.
I mean, granted, there are peddlers and merchants and, frankly, some crazies around the port. Just, you never know what the ships are going to bring in. So people just stick to their business, don't really mind.
Great. Then, with the gulls surrounding and hovering, I'm going to go up to a cart, hopefully horse-drawn, if there is one. Take my last crab stick, throw it into the back of that cart, smack the ass of the horse, and hope that it darts off and down the market.
Okay. Okay, I want you to roll animal handling here.
Okay.
Because I think this could be fun.
Ten altogether.
10 altogether?
10 altogether.
Okay, fantastic. You smack the ass of this horse, and it kind of gets up and whinnies a little bit, but as you throw the crab stick, the gulls start to kind of come alongside and chase it. And the horse, already agitated, sprints off with this cart. You see, it takes a wide turn, and the cart topples and starts to roll. It rolls into this outhouse that you threw the first crab stick at. It shatters, and wood goes everywhere.
Okay,
You
great.
see that it completely tears down this outhouse. And from that, you do see two of the guards that are patrolling the stockyard. They do end up kind of running over to see what's going on.
Great. The second I see them, I hood up, sneak back, and try to rush my way to the hole in the fence.
Got it, absolutely. They are not too busy, or not too, they're a little preoccupied trying to figure out what this ruckus is going on, to try and discern who this hooded figure is. So I'll say you definitely get by them easily.
Great.
So.
Cool, fantastic. I'm heading right back to the stockyard. And if there's no one there with under the scaffolding and all that, I'm gonna sneak right in.
It is free for you to enter.
Incredible.
Once you finally get inside, you see there are more guards. They are patrolling. There are these different sized houses, almost like they're storehouses, and they kind of form aisles and rows that these guards, 2 of them on each road, kind of go back and forth, just doing their daily, patrolling the area. There are, if you had to guess, maybe 30 to 40 houses, 30 to 40 storehouses that are lined up in total. You see the ones toward more of like the closer to the docks, I'll say, are much larger than some of the ones that are closer to the actual fence.
Okay.
As you progress, the storehouses get more intricate and larger, possibly holding the bigger of the shipments.
Got it. What am I looking for? A dragon. I have to go for the bigger ones. I have to see if they're holding something big.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna head towards one of the bigger houses. The biggest, if there is one that towers over the others, and I'll attempt to get to one of those.
Yeah. There are... So you see there's kind of like a main road that goes down and goes all the way down to...
Fantastic.
Where the ship would dock to actually put its shipment into one of the storehouses.
Okay.
And then from that, there are offshoots of kind of like roads that lead into these storehouses. And again, there are guards that are patrolling. So how are you wanting to go about this?
I think my best weapon here is to try and sneak. And if I get caught, lie my ass off. I'm not good at lying, though. So this is just going to be a matter of, do I get caught sneaking or not?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to hood up, get low to the ground, and sneak my way through.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll me some stealth.
Okay. 21.
Yeah, absolutely. You stick to the shadows, and you are used to getting a lay of the land, and you're used to kind of staying hidden, just keeping to yourself. It's pretty natural for you, so you haven't been noticed as of yet, but as you get closer to the corner of this house, you hear 2 guards coming your way, and they're mid-conversation. And what you pick up is they're talking about this storage that's on the far end of the actual stockyard.
Okay.
You hear, have you been to the live storage lately? That new beast they brought in has got to be the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It looked like it's barely holding itself together. Well, whatever it is, I want nothing to do with it. I don't like getting in the way of the captain either.
Okay. I'm going to head to the one that they indicated. That to me is a dead ringer, that if it's not livestock, it's something being trafficked for sure. I'll head there.
Okay. As you kind of wait for the other guards, you hear them kind of start another conversation, and the other guard, well, you think that's bad? Well, just don't go to storage B32.
B32, okay.
I heard they've got a lot of Ignim ore over there. Tons of it, enough to blow the whole city block. I'm not going near the stuff. Plus, it smells like sulfur. I can't do it. And they go on, kind of out of earshot.
Okay. Note to self, stay clear of B32. All right. And I continue on. Do I find the one that they were mentioning?
It is, so you walk for maybe about 5 to 8 minutes, and
Okay.
you're kind of trying to stay clear
Low,
of these
yeah.
guards, staying low to the ground, yeah. And as you get over to this area, you see there's this large storehouse. There's tons of cages outside with tarps and blankets kind of strewn over them, tied to the ground.
Okay.
You see there's a whole menagerie of different creatures. You see there's tiny little rabbit creatures with a singular horn in these small cages. In another one, you see there's these kind of frog-like creatures that are bipedal, and some are small, some are larger. In another one, you see this almost like, not squid, jellyfish, that's the word. You see like this jellyfish type creature with these two protruding kind of eye stalks, and they've got almost like these arms that kind of squid out to the side. Just kind of as a list of creatures, but you also see that there are 2 guards talking out front.
Okay. Got it. So I can see all of these cages and tarps, but just outside of them is 2 guards.
Yes, and there's no door. It is a wide open, just kind of entrance, and on the inside you can see that there are larger cages. There are all assortments of different types of cages and boxes and crates.
Great.
And again, posted out front, there's 2 guards talking to each other. Along the actual roof of this building, there's a kind of like a glass top that lets the sunlight in, kind of like a sky view.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And apologies, one more clarification. It's an open pen that I'm looking at with a sunroof, or there are walls?
There are
walls.
There are walls. So
Yeah.
it is like a giant, think of like a barn without the door.
Got it. Okay. Understood. Okay. I think I can't talk to the guards. I can't do that. So I'm going to attempt to climb up to a window, and if there is no window, I'll climb up to the roof to see if I can get into the sunroof.
Okay. As you kind of check around, there's no windows to be seen.
Okay.
But the roof would be easily accessible.
Great.
Just climbing on the cages to try and get up to the roof. It would probably be about 10 feet if you could jump to the actual roof.
Okay. I'll try it. Yeah.
Sure.
I'll try jumping to the roof.
I would definitely say give me athletics.
Okay. 16 minus 1 for 15.
That'll do it. You jump and you just end up getting kind of the side ledge, and you're barely holding on. You pull yourself up and end up kind of rolling over. And as you are now on top of this roof, you can see clearly on the inside there's a slew of all different types of cages with the same type of tarps over the top.
Okay.
And you see inside of these cages, some of them are these just strange creatures. You see, go ahead and make a nature check for me.
Sure, nature? Absolutely. 15.
15?
Yeah.
As you look inside, you notice one of the creatures, and it is this weird, gangly looking ape type creature.
Oh.
This is what you would recognize as a death ape. It is a creature that is native to the forests of Vardinzerol.
Okay.
And they're not the friendliest. They definitely have a habit of almost attacking on sight.
Okay.
But these ones seem like they've been sedated.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, but roughly about 20 feet down is probably the closest cage.
Okay. And I can open the sunroof, one of the panels of the sunroof. Great. I'm going to flip that up. I believe I have 50 feet of rope in my pack, but I'm not entirely sure. Do I have 50 feet of rope in my
You
pack?
should if you have like an explorer's pack or
I
something.
do. Great. Then I'm going to let down 20 feet of rope, tie one of the other end to part of the sunroof, and climb my way down.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, you go ahead and tie it. I'd probably say to the actual beam that holds up the sunroof once you open it.
Sure.
You could probably tie it to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go ahead and have you roll for stealth one more time.
Okie dokie. 17 plus 4 is 21.
Okay, yeah, no, you still feel like you are pretty hidden.
Great.
As you slide down into this kind of darkened inside. It's pretty cramped in here.
Mm-hmm.
The cages are pretty tight together. There's not a lot of walking space. There are still little kind of alleyways for you to actually walk down, but you're having to twist and contort your body to actually kind of fit through. And now you're up and close to these cages. You're having to actually kind of put your hands on these cages to scoot by.
Okay.
And in some of these cages, you see more of these creatures. So, not just the death apes,
No,
but
for sure.
different assortments of creatures.
Great. Now that I'm inside, I want to start checking for tags. I need to know where these are going. I need to know where they came from. I need to know if there's any tracking at all, any paperwork that I can denote if this is for sure legitimate or if it is people who are not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, you don't see any type of paperwork. You don't see any tags or anything.
Okay.
You see that there are numbers on the cages.
Okay.
So you see there's cage like A13. Then you keep walking a little bit, and there's cage C37, and so on and so forth. And a lot of the cages that you can see in are completely empty. But it seems like most of the cages that have something, as you kind of walk by and you hear like the snarling and the low moans, the grumbles of creatures, they've been covered with tarps to kind of keep the sunlight out. Almost a method of keeping some of these creatures who might otherwise cause a problem calm.
I think Omaru, being in this somewhat dark, only lit by the sunroof room, surrounded by things that should be free. I'm going to look under one of the tarps to see if I can recognize one of the creatures, if it's native to Vardenzerol or native from somewhere else.
Okay. You look under this tarp, and you see there's this almost hound-like creature, hairless. It doesn't really have like a head, as more its head is kind of just an extension of its body, and its mouth is agape. Its mouth is as big and round as your actual torso.
Oh my god, okay.
And its eyes are just glazed over, as if in some sort of stasis or slumber.
Each and every one of you have been drugged. Put in cages. This isn't right. This isn't right. I'm going to start to rip the tarps off of all of the cages.
Okay. As you rip this one off, nothing really happens to the one with the hound-like creature in it.
Yeah.
You rip another one off, and you see that there is there's a familiar creature. It is native to most places. It is familiar as in it's an owlbear. And it has a small cub cuddled up next to it. They don't seem like they've been injured or poorly treated, but they are asleep. As you tear off this tarp off of this cage, the cub kind of wakes up in a little bit of a frantic panic, surprised to see you as you kind of aggressively rip off this tarp. It calms a little bit and just kind of huddles next to its mom, quivering. The next cage that you see, there is a large, almost like lizard-like creature. You see there are these tubes that come out of its neck at the top, and there's small little puffs of soot or smoke that occasionally come out. And it looks up at you, and it has that same kind of inquisitive look. Most of these creatures, you will notice that they're pretty calm. You haven't necessarily seen anything that you think, besides maybe the hound, but nothing that would outwardly be absolutely devastatingly dangerous.
Is it possible for me to roll insight on the situation that I'm looking at?
Sure.
I know that they don't... A lot of them seem like they're sedated. So what I would like to try and glean is whether or not... if what I'm seeing is beasts in trouble or something that needs to be out. Or if this is... maybe they were born in captivity, maybe this is just a part of the business, maybe these animals are already privy to what's happening, I'm not sure. Can I roll insight for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, 10. Insight. 13.
13?
Yeah.
You see on the owlbear, it had like a collar, almost. Not like a pet collar, more of like a metal chained collar. So definitely that one has been in captivity for a while now. The rest of them you can't quite tell. None of them really looked outwardly hurt or injured in any way. You can tell that the further back that you go into this storage house, the bigger the cages get. As you first dealt with this hound-like creature, and then to the owlbear. And it just keeps getting bigger as you keep going back.
Okay. Are these larger ones still tarped as well?
Yes.
Because I'm ripping down tarps as often as I can.
Okay. Yeah, you rip down all of these tarps, and you see there's a necropanther in one of those. There's literally a what do you call those things? I don't remember what they're called.
Okay.
Yep, I had it in my mind, and then it just went.
Good.
But then you get to the end of the aisle at the very back of the storehouse, and there's 3 massive cages. Massive cages.
Okay.
15 feet tall. And there's 3 of them all set against the wall.
I go up to the middle one, I grab the tarp, and I pull it down with all my force.
Grab the middle one, and as you grab it and tear it down, you see there's this scarred and bloody body of what looks like a triceratops.
Holy
its
shit.
left horn is broken off. You see it's weak and breathing slow and heavy, like it's fighting for its every breath.
Oh my god.
You see what would normally be this massive beast of burden that could most likely easily break out of this cage isn't putting up a fight.
Oh, you poor thing, you poor thing. I'm gonna rip down the other 2. Okay. Right first, then left.
Right first? You see there's this large ape-like creature that is strung up in chains. Arms suspended, legs sitting, also chained to the outside of the cage, and neck to the top. It is a massive white ape.
Oh my god.
With these gray and black kind of stripes that go down. It's got 4 different arms. And it looks to almost be fighting a sedated state, to where it will seem to nod off at first and then
Okay.
and then calm down yet again. And in the left,
Yeah, and the last one?
you see there's this strange-looking draconic creature. Nothing like you've ever seen or heard from the storybooks. As you take a closer look, you see its elongated body is curled and curved, contorted in this way just so it can barely fit in this large cage that is tiny for it.
Mm-hmm.
It would normally have these beautiful scales. As you can see, the scales are chipped and broken on the floor, and there is nothing but a light blue, fleshy hide in place of what was normally these opalescent, beautiful scales. You see its wings, these what looked like feathers on it, but now only 3 or 4 to each wing, barely hanging on, weakly trying to cover itself, trying to just almost look like it's warming itself. As you see it lightly shivers, and as you try and look for a head of some sort, you hear behind you, approaching, 2 voices.
Oh shit. Okay. How far away?
They're approaching pretty quick.
Pretty quick? Okay.
You hear the footsteps walking pretty vigorously.
Are there locks on any of these cages?
Yes.
How big are the slats? Would I be able to sneak and slide into the bars?
Yeah, absolutely. On all of these, you most likely would be able to.
Okay. Then if I have time, I'd like to slide into the Triceratops first.
Okay.
I walk up to it, and I pat up to it, and I hear its heavy breathing, and I walk up, I get closer to its head, and I go, "I'm so sorry. This should never have happened to you." And I will lay my 1 point of healing that I can do as an Azamar into
Okay.
it, as like a very dull, grayish silver glow comes off of my hand, and I try to heal some of its wounds that it's had.
Yeah.
And I whisper to it, "I know it can't understand me, but I want to try and make a connection here and go, the people who took you and put you here, they're approaching fast. You are a great beast. It's time to show them why you should never be put in a cage again." And then after I say that, I sneak away into the cage with the draconic figure in it to see if the Triceratops acts in some way that I can get a distraction and do other things.
Before you can sneak off out of this cage, you lay your healing hand, this dull flash of silver, and you hear it breathe in one more. A low grumble. Whether it be gratitude or a finalization, you don't know. But you see part of just a small cut on the side of its face starts to close, and then you see part of its horn starts to crumble a little bit. As you could only do so much. But before you could exit, you see the 2 men. One is a shorter, maybe dwarven figure,
Okay.
but he doesn't have your typical dwarven features. He's
Okay.
fresh-faced. He's got these dull gray eyes, and he's got this small top hat that is kind of tilted a little bit.
Uh-huh.
He's in this kind of black and white suit. And this other man who you can't quite see his face. It's obscured by a hood that he has pulled up in these long robes of this kind of dull green and yellow. And you hear this conversation. The shorter man, it seems we've been conned. We're tracking down the traders right now. They thought they could get away with it, but they sold us this thing. And he gestures towards this draconic creature. It wasn't sickly when I got it, but I figured it's beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. And then it just started withering, dying. I've had every expert that I could find. I've called people in from Torthis, and still, nothing. But there is good news. There is an egg. We have procured it, and it is in safekeeping. The hooded figure. Where is the egg? Perhaps there is still hope for the project. If we can use this wormling when it hatches. But we will see. Your end of the bargain has not been fulfilled yet. Yes, I know. It is secured to the Drakestone pendants. I have this one under my own watch. He holds it out. Do not worry. The Katak Khan will have their prize soon. I have never failed you before, and I do not plan to now. When he pulls out this pendant, you feel this strange buzz in the back of your head. Like something is calling you. Something is speaking to you, but you can't hear it. You can just feel the intensity on the back of your neck. And as you feel this intensity, you kind of back out of the cage like you were wanting to. As you feel the Triceratops stand up weakly, it sways. And then it starts to thrash wildly. You see its horn break out of these metal bars. And as it does, the man kink, breaks off, and you see the pendant onto the ground next to the draconic creature. He dives for it, just barely missing it, but the Triceratops gets into the way, dividing you, the draconic creature, and the two men. Omaru, what are you doing?
I rush for the pendant, feeling this buzz in the back of my head. And as soon as I grab it, I want to try and find the head of this draconic creature. I couldn't see it before, but I want to get close to it so I can speak to it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'll hold it in my hands for now.
Cool. You immediately go for the pendant, seeing that the man obviously thought it was important.
Right.
And something telling you that it was. The moment you make contact with it, you look around. You're in a cave. How did you get here? You look behind you. And what's behind you is this small plinth with a cushion and a glass case. Inside, there's an egg. An egg about the size from your waist to your head. It's large.
Holy shit.
It is this turquoise and teal, this opalescent sheen around it.
I think I turn around again and I feel that no one's here for a moment. And I'll walk up to the plinth and I'll take this new pendant and I'll put it on, trying to keep it safe. And I'll approach. I'd like to take off the glass case.
Okay. There's a latch, and it opens outward so that you can reach inside.
Okay. I open it up. And I'll reach for them and touch the face of it.
The closer you get to it, that pulsing in the back of your head, that heat on the back of your neck starts to get more pressure. And as you make contact with it, this surge of arcane electricity spirals around your arms, starts to spiral around your body, your hair goes staticky, and your eyes roll back into your head just before you see this lightning bolt. And then everything goes white. You open your eyes and appear as if you're floating above the clouds. There is midday, the sun just barely peeking over the horizon, just enough to shine and make the silver specks in your eyes, the white streak in your hair, and the silver bits along your face shine delicately. You're the only one here. You see nothing until you hear a voice, calm, tranquil, commanding. You, chosen of the guiding light, you are no longer your own. You live as a soul bound to another, who finds itself just as lost as you are. Hear me as you are looked upon by the eyes of the Opal Queen. Know this, and know your path. Find it for the true path of redemption. You blink, the voice gone, the warmth fading.
What?
And then you, on your knees, you look around, the plinth, broken and crumbled ruin.
No,
You see the egg disappeared, the shattered glass all around you. You see the black scorch marks all around the room.
What?
Centered on you as you look down at your arm, and there is a burn. It hurts. It's pain. The lightning seems to have struck you to your core. From your arm, spiraling around all the way up until your shoulder. But that's not the only thing that hurts, as you feel this tink in the back of your spine. And then another, as you see a pike to your left. And as you look behind you, ever so subtly, as if not to make any rash movement, there are 6 men with pikes. One circles around and pulls out shackles.
Wait. I don't know what's happening here. What's going on?
Boy, have you made a mistake. And he takes the back end of his pike. And he knocks you out clean. And that is where we're going to end our session today.
Okay. Wow.